What's up, everyone? Today we're going to be talking about season 2 of Peacemaker. Episode 1 got released yesterday and is full of cameo and surprises right off from the beginning of the episode of this season. Within the first few minutes, I'm going to give us a quick rundown, and just to tell you guys ahead of time, we're going to talk about spoilers. Yes, we are going to talk about spoilers. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of everything, so get ready, because we're going to spill some tea on everything for Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 1 that got released yesterday. If you guys have not watched it, there's spoilers, but also stay on social media if you guys have not watched the first episode, and get your asses off your seat and please go watch the first episode because it is spot on chef's kiss. Alright guys, we're going to talk about Peacemaker Season 2, but before we get started, don't forget to like the subscribe button and make sure you guys don't turn on your notifications so you guys don't miss a beat on any movie news. Alright guys, Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 1. Let's talk about this. Alright guys, it is full of spoilers right off the beginning. They pretty much give you a recap of Season 1. Pretty much they talk to you guys about, everything that happened in Season 1. If you guys do not remember from Season 1, pretty much Peacemaker and his crew, the Task Force X Black Ops, that's run by Viola Davis, is they send him out to kill these butterflies that are pretty much supposedly infecting. They're pretty much parasites taking human bodies as hosts, and they pretty much defeat them. They defeat the ringleader, Goth. That is the ringleader of the butterflies. They end up defeating them and whatnot, and yeah, that's how they kind of leave off the season. But with one little twist, they had to do something to start off the new DCU, and because everyone had that big old what question, because the Justice League kind of showed up late to the battle, and they pretty much retconned that. They made something else canon. Instead of the Justice League, you have a little, a little saying by Ad that, she tells Peacemaker, why don't you just hit up the Justice Gang? The Justice Gang shows up instead of the Justice League. Pretty much they erase the Justice League from existence. Like I said before, I still feel like this is somewhat of a cop-out. They should just reboot the whole story, or just not even done Peacemaker. But that's what they did. They erased just that little part to make the rest of the story fit, and pretty much they have the Justice League show up. Before it was a silhouette of Superman, Wonder Woman, and you do actually see Ezra Miller's Flash and Jason Momoa's Aquaman. In this version, where you see the silhouette of David Corset's Superman, yes, it is his, because the silhouette's way different and it resembles David Corset's Superman. You see silhouette of Mr. Terrific, and you also see the silhouette of Supergirl. You do not actually see them, just a silhouette. The two people that Peacemaker season interacts with is Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, and Hawk Girls. Isabel Merced's Hawk Girl. Pretty much that's what they do. So they actually show you they are in the DCU. They even say previously in the DCU. That's how exactly the Peacemaker Episode 1 Season 2 starts. How do I feel about that? I guess as a way to explain it, but I still feel, you guys know how I feel about this situation. They should just rebooted the whole thing. You know what I mean? He's just keeping all the people that he's worked with and he's friends with. I know it sounds a little mean. I'm not a Snyderverse kind of guy at all. I just wish they would have just kind of rebooted the whole thing, because it does get a little confusing. Not in terms of well, they explain to you, are you dumb? No, but also if you have to sit here and explain it to me in scenes and stories little by little, just so you can keep your characters, it does get confusing for other people that are not crazy DC fans. If you're not a DC fan and you're just trying to watch all this stuff, you do get a little confused. My girlfriend gets a little confused. I explain all this stuff. She's like, why are they keeping some people and some people no? And it does seem like he's just keeping all his friends and stuff like that. But let's just talk about the positive, guys. James Gunn is cooking with Peacemaker Episode 1 Season 2. I do feel like this is where he shines the best. This is very well written, well paced. All the emotional stuff hit home right away. I think that this is where James Gunn, he does great with these kind of characters, to be honest. I think he does a lot better with this than he does with Superman in handling the pacing of the show. It does not feel rushed. All the jokes and the emotional parts are very, very well balanced. I feel like season 1, as you guys know, I'm not crazy about season 1. I think they made Peacemaker look a little bit of a joke, and also I did feel that they make him look dumb too as well. And it was full of jokes that, to me, Some of them did not hit. A lot of jokes I just found them kind of dumb, but a lot of jokes they did feel really, were really funny. They did hit home. So I'm gonna tell you guys how the episode kicks off. That first episode kicks off with Peacemaker waking up. Eagles actually wakes him up. You know, like your dog wakes you up to take you out for a walk, and it's snowing outside. So instead of taking him out for a walk, he takes him to his dimensional portal that we have seen in season 1, where this portal takes you, this door takes you to different portals. It is so funny that in Peacemaker that this portal is very well designed in terms of how minimal this little door, this regular door is compared to the one that Lex Luthor, a millionaire that is expert in technology, has this crazy old big old circles that you walk through. I still can't wrap my mind around. He should have, Lex Luthor should have had a cleaner portal entrance than Peacemaker's dad. Just saying. I'm just saying those are the little things that kind of bug me. Lex Luthor's portal entrance looks like a rip rather than a nice little clean door. John Cena is the less conspicuous of his door, but he takes him in there to take him out for a walk, which is eagerly flying. That's when we come across a different door, and he notices that there's a whole bunch of different Peacemakers, helmets in front of that door. He goes in there and he sees his dad. Pretty much, we've seen this in the trailers, a different dimension. He leaves. We'll leave that as that. Then we start to see the backstory of, not the backstory, but of what's going on with Hardcore. She's going through an emotional breakdown. She pretty much gets let go because she's not employed right now with the government because she is pretty much not mentally stable according to government standards. Peacemaker shows up to her door, tries to make her feel better, and they pretty much show her going through a lot of stuff emotionally. She punches a DoorDash. Peacemaker puts some ice bag over her fist and pretty much starts to talk to her about the night they hooked up, I guess. They started talking about a night they were on a boat and they hooked up, and he wants to talk about that, and she doesn't because she pretty much friend zones him and tells him it was a one night fling. They leave it as that. He leaves, and then we get to her and Peacemaker and ads. If you guys do not know who ads is short for Latoya Adeboya. Adebayo is actually her name. It is short for that, but he calls her ad throughout the episode, which I think is pretty cool because they became very, very close. And pretty much is John Cena and ads just talking how he's just a joke. He wants to be a superhero now. She's like, yeah, man, we save the world and we don't even got jobs right now. So they're all pretty much out of their luck with the exception Economos. Economos is still working for the government for Rick Flag. We'll jump into that a little bit later. But pretty much you see that as you can see in the trailers, ads is taking him to an interview with the Justice Gang. But he says, man, I don't even want to go to this interview really because they're all assholes. He's pretty much saying superheroes are mean to him. They call him like names that he is a Jersey Shore season 4 kind of guy with that type of haircut. They call him toilet bowl head because of his helmet and stuff like that. And he's over that shit. He's like, I think they're just jealous because my muscles are bigger than theirs. And he's talking about Guy Gardner. He's talked about that him and Guy Gardner that have interacted more than once before. We do see him interact with Hot Girl and Guy Gardner when they're pretty much retconning the DCEU and canoning the DCU. So he pretty much, as you can see in the trailers, he is interviewing with them. They're kind of like blowing him off. They're behind a glass door, so they're supposed to turn on the mic when they talk, turn it off when they're talking between the Justice League, when they're talking between the Justice League members, which is Guy Gardner, Hawkgirl, and the guy that finances the entire thing is Lord Maxwell, played by Sean Gunn, James Gunn brother. You actually see him interacting with the three. He does very well as Lord Maxwell. In this, they're just interviewing him, asking him, what he does, what he brings to the table. They're trash talking him kind of in the back. They're talking about things that have nothing to do with the interview, not to Peacemaker between them, but Peacemaker can hear them. They're talking about flat butts, big butts, and just little stuff like that. Popcorn, eating the popcorn, the snacks, and just blowing off Peacemaker. And Peacemaker gets pissed and leaves. But before he leaves, he has a little speech because Lord Maxwell asks him. It says here that he killed more than 12 dozen people, and we're looking for someone that doesn't have a lot of casualties. Peacemaker responded is most of them deserved it, and Lord Maxwell responds to him, how about the ones that didn't deserve it? He kind of stays quiet, and Peacemaker responds is, I've done a lot of mistakes in my past, but I don't want to be defined by that. I want to be defined by the person that I am now. I learned from my mistakes. That's not who I am anymore. And it's very well written, very touching, and this is when the episode shines, and I think that this is when, James Gunn is at his strongest when it comes to these emotional parts. I think he gets this character of Peacemaker very well. Peacemaker leaves, goes on, gets mad, gets drunk, has an orgy, does a little bit of that sugar powder, if you know what I mean. Has an orgy in his apartment. Economos is out there looking for him. He's not looking for him, but he's watching him because he's sent by Rick Flag Sr. Rick Flag Sr. is the head of security, as you guys can see, for the government, for the White House, and pretty much it seems like he's really just watching over Peacemaker, but he says he's looking over this, portal rift that they believe is coming from Peacemaker's house because he's actually, went through this dimension portal in the past, and they don't want anything to happen where it breaks a hole through the earth like, it happened in Superman when Lex Luthor had his little portal door open. That's how they kind of, follow Peacemaker. Rick Flag Sr. says he's following because of that, which I 100% doubt it. I think he's following him because he knows he killed his son. Economos kind of lies to Rick Flag, pretty much saying that, they're just out there having an orgy, hanging out, and he does not see a dimension portal, which he really does, and takes a picture of it, but he does not want to snitch his friend Peacemaker out because they've created a bond in the first season, so he does not snitch him out all the way. Rick Flag Sr. still tells him, hey, I still getting signals from there. Let's not 100% write it out that he's not going through a dimensional portal. But, that's how they end up kind of with, Economos. He's still working for the government. I'm not sure why he's the only one that still is and the rest is not. And pretty much you get into this scene where during a party, Peacemaker goes into this portal, which we just talked about. Kind of goes in there, hangs out. Then he sees his brother, and that's when it hits home. They do this very well. He has a bond with his brother, gives him his big hug. His brother's like, hey, I thought you were supposed to be in Belhaven, which is in this dimension. The other Peacemaker is out, so they don't know that this is a different Peacemaker. Then he sees his dad. Then the three are hanging out, having drinks. They're having a good time. This is something Peacemaker has always wanted. You know what I mean? His dad and his brother go to sleep. He tells them, I love you. The dad tells them, I love you back, which is so strange for him to hear, but feels good. Very well written, like I said before. And from there, pretty much he's just kind of hanging out, looking at the house Peacemaker. And then the other Peacemaker shows up with his helmet and tells him, who the fuck are you? They get into a fight. Peacemaker tries to, our Peacemaker tries to tell the other Peacemaker a little bit what's going on. Is not having it. They get into a fight. They end up in the dimensional portal. In the portal where there's different doors. They start getting in a fight. The other Peacemaker from the dimension uses ninja stars to fight him that come out of his helmet, which I think is pretty cool. And he kind of flies using this jetpack. That is awesome. This fight scene is really, really good. I think these fight scenes are better than the Superman fight scenes. They get a good fight. The other Peacemaker is about to kill our Peacemaker, and pretty much he gets sucked into this magnetized fan-looking thing, and the fan has a spike, and Peacemaker dies. Our Peacemaker does not kill him at all. But, he does feel bad, and then that's how they end that episode, which is very good, which, as you can tell, as if you've seen the trailers, you know what's going to happen next. Pretty much he's going to get rid of the body. He did not mean to kill the Peacemaker, which he probably is going to feel terrible about already. And he's going to end up going to the other dimension just to kind of hang out and feel good about himself because his dimension sucks. As you guys can tell, he has no job. He's out of his luck. He saved the world and he is jobless. So, yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think of Peacemaker Season 2. I honestly do think that this is very good. It was very well written, very well paced. It's emotional. You have an idea a little bit of what's setting up for the rest of the episodes. They do jump right from the beginning with cameos. I like this. I really like this a lot. I can't wait to see the second episode coming out next week. But yeah, that is it, guys, for my Peacemaker season 2 episode 1 review, sort of a breakdown. I'm trying to get a little bit better at these, explaining all of this to you guys. But let me know what you guys think about season 2 episode 1 of Peacemaker, and leave your comments down below. Do you guys hate it? Do you guys like it? Do you guys like this one better than the season 1? How do you guys like how they're tying the Justice Gang and get rid of the DCU? Do you guys feel like this is a cop out? You guys feel like this is the perfect way of doing it? So, all right, guys, I will catch you guys next time. I will see you guys later. Your boy CeeLo is out. Peace.